What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Milton Spence coming to you live right now. Here with my boy Herndon Burns, Mr. Burns. He is my best friend. Has been my best friend, and he's been my friend now for going over 12 years. I wanted to have him on the Well-Rounded Coaches Corner because of the fact he decided to take a leap of faith and start his own business, which we're going to dive into, which is the reason why I have him on. Mr. Burns, I don't really have too much to say, man. If people know who I am, I'm Milton Spence, the owner and founder of Well-Rounded Consultant. I'm going to obviously leave how you can get in touch with me. You can see how you can do it on the page, on the podcast here, on the YouTube, everything. I'm all over the place, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Wherever you go, you can see this ugly face. Now, Mr. Burns, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Please intro yourself. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you're about, and let us know how to get in touch with you.
All right. Well, hey out there, Herndon Burns, father, friend, teacher, coach, mentor, all of the above. You can get in touch with me at herndon.burns@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook at Herndon Burns, and I am on Instagram at herndon.burns. Email, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Can't think of my Twitter right now, but I'm on Twitter. Type my name in. I'm on there. You can find me. All
right. Okay. Well, shoot, man. Hearn's not a man of many words, so he's gonna, get straight to the point. So let's dive right in, man. Tell us about your business, man. Tell us what you've created and tell us why you created it.
Burns Athletics. It's been a vision of mine. I know I was talking to you about it when I first, not when I first started coaching, but I believe it was last season. I just realized that these young men and young athletes, they don't know the sport of football anymore. I think I gave the direction to a player to go stand outside, for us football-minded people. I told I believe he was playing tight end or receiver. I told him to go block the linebacker. And he kind of looked at me and said, all right, I got it. And the boy went and blocked the defensive end. It was like, well, the play got blown up, man. I said to go block the linebacker. He was like, I did, coach. No, man, you touched the defensive end. But so that's what really got the wheels turning and me wanting to start this up. Just the vision that I need to start back with the basics of football. Everybody wants to be a basketball player now. Nobody wants to play football anymore. We were young, we went outside and played in the street, played football in the street, down the street in the field. Everybody wants to be LeBron. Everybody wants to be Kobe now. Nobody wants to be Odell Beckham no more. Nobody wants to be Tyreek Hill anymore. So this business that I've started up is just a way to start them young. I focus mostly on the young athletes, anywhere from ages 6 all the way up into 12, 13. And then for the seasoned athletes, I have something separate for them that I focus on. But I really want to start with the young minds, because that's where it starts at. I want to get them straight, and then as they matriculate on to the older grades, they'll already have the basics and they'll understand the sport of football more. And instead of trying to come in and trying to make all of these spectacular plays and they don't have the basics to do it. So, yeah.
Now, considering the fact that it's a passion of yours now and something that you wanted to do for some time, I want you to dive in for me and let me know, how did this even become a passion? Tell us a little bit of your backstory and tell us, how you got into even playing football, where you started playing at, why you even, or how you even got to this point. We're trying to find out, because this is the Well-Rounded Coaches Corner. So we're all about coaching. We're all about diving into people. We're about people's depth and about, who they are and what they are. So if you would, let us into what Burns Athletics not just is about as far as the programs and things of that nature, but let us know about the person who started.
Well, I didn't start playing organized football until high school. My 9th grade year, I was like, man, I'm I've been playing football since I was, 8, 9 years old, but it wasn't organized. I just go out and, throw the ball around, make catches and tackle people. But I got to high school and I was like, man, I want to play for a team. So I got out, here in Augusta, Georgia. Went to Lucy C. Lane in high school. Tried out for the team, ended up making the team. Of course, I didn't really play too much my 9th grade year, but my 10th grade year, had an opportunity to start. I played tight end and I was a punter. Played 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Was fortunate enough to earn a scholarship my senior year to Albany State University. Got down to Albany State and I sat behind, Randy? I sat behind Randy for a year, man. The boot, man. Sat behind Randy Allen, and my sophomore year, I was starting at punter. I was gonna start at receiver and punter. But not likely that they're gonna have you on the field.
No, not Coach White. No, you can't do that.
No, not Coach White, man. You ain't gonna start in college at 2 positions. So they paid me, well, not paid me, but they gave me a full ride to punt football. After I graduated from college, I decided that I wanted to coach and I wanted to teach. So that next year, we had some NFL workouts, and it was at this time I was training at one of the other high schools, Academy of Richmond County High School, and the boys, they would see me out there, running, catching, doing all kind of stuff. And this was during, I believe, their spring practice. They were lifting weights, and they come out there and they come and find out what I was doing and who I was, and I told them, and I was like, then I would coach them up, not even being on the coaching staff, just for the love of the game. If I see a young athlete doing something that I think they can do a little something better with, I'm gonna help them, and that's anybody. So, so I got doing that, and the coach finally came out there, and he was like, are you a coach, or, are you looking to coach? I said, well, I do want to coach. I'm out here working out for NFL, but I am looking to coach. And so he told me what to do in order to get my coach certificate, and I went and did that. And that summer, I was out there coaching with him. So just that there, always grateful for that opportunity. And I've been coaching at a high school for the past 3-4 years. Ended up coaching at another high school, Glen Hills. And then this past season, I was fortunate enough to gain a coaching position at my alma mater, in high school, and teaching in the school system, and just trying to spread trying to give back to the youth what I was given as a youth.
Cool, man. So it sounds like you have a heart for kids, and that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's where you want to be. That's how you should be, right? So for the sake of everybody listening, you're now starting a business, right? And you're in a position now, man, to do something major. You're in Augusta, Georgia, and you're allowing yourself to step out there, and be somebody or do something to make a difference, okay? And it might be for profit for a little bit, right? But mostly it's your passion, right?
Right.
But tell us, you doing this now as a businessman, what is that? What are some things that your initially, what did you feel when you were like, I'm gonna take this leap of faith and start this business? Like, what's some things that's gone through your mind as far as, how you're gonna deal with this, and maybe if you've had some doubts or fears or excitements, jokes, what has gone through your mind in this process of even getting this bad boy off the ground?
Man, well, at first I was scared. I'm not gonna even lie. I was afraid that it might not jump off the way that it has. Being afraid that I might reach out or not getting the The feedback or the turnout that I would have liked to. But as man, my first hit, man, was actually my classmate from high school. She's got a son. He's on the autistic spectrum, and she was like, "Well, I want my son. I want him to try and learn football, but he's a little autistic." I said, "Well," I told her, I was like, "Well, I mean, I teach special ed, so I mean that's right up my alley." She, "Oh man, this was a blessing. I believe you were sent my way." And so I told her, I said, "Yeah, we'll bring him on and I'll talk to him." Matter of fact, he's in the preview in the past video we just did. His name is LaMarcus, great young man, eager to learn. He's having fun. He's having fun. Excitement getting that first hit. And I've got another friend of mine. He has contacted me about bringing his sons on and learning out about the program. So I sent him the paperwork and let him know what he needed to do. Just waiting to hear back from him. But I'm looking to get this thing off the ground in a big way. Like I want to promote, and I want to have, like, I want this to be the go-to program for young athletes trying to learn football and trying to perfect what they do on the field. Super excited. Super excited. Feels good, actually putting in work of what you love to do. And and they say, it's not working if it's a passion of yours. And I honestly believe that.
Now, being that, you feel as if it's not, working and being a passion and everything, and this is your passion, is what you love to do. And congratulations on those clients, by the way. I know that's major when you get your first client, then your second one, and then you're like, oh man, here comes the third one. You start riding that wave of momentum.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you, as somebody who's been in business for some time, that feeling of fear, right? It never leaves you. It's always somewhere around the corner, right? Lurking. It's always going to be with you. It's always going to be there. I've told every business owner I've ever counseled or coached, use that fear. Don't allow it to use you. There's a big difference. You step on it and you ride that bad boy and you use that fuel to go ahead and push your business to the next level. If you want it to be big, then doggone it, you work for it to get there. Don't let nothing stop you. Now realize that you only got one life to live. So you're not losing anything by giving 110% to the right thing. You feel what I'm saying? If this was the wrong thing for you to do, then of course you're losing something. But you owe it to yourself to give this 120, 130%. And people need to see or want to see, that they can trust you, especially with their kids. Football is a sport that has been made out to be dangerous and has been made out to be something ugly. Tell us your opinion on that. Considering now that the game is not as glorified as it once was, why do you think that is? And what are you going to do in order to show people that, hey, it's okay. You can still love this sport and still have those, like we had those, those players like you look up to, like, man, I want to be an Emmitt Smith. I want to be this guy or that guy. Tell us your plans and tell us, your opinion on how football is put out there today.
Well, just the tagline of my business is getting back to the basics. So when I'm putting the kids out there to play, they would have learned the basics in the correct way to do things. So that way they're not out there hurting themselves or hurting other people. They've learned how to tackle the correct way. They've learned how to block the correct way, so they're not out there, about to break their wrist because their hand placement isn't right. But the football today, I think it's us being football fans. I mean, of course we want to see, the big hits, and we kind of tense up when we see that receiver come across the middle of the field, and the next camera shot is just safe to come knock his head off. But I think they've done a good job of toning down on the big hits and the blocks and all of that, because I mean they're people's lives. I mean, that are out there playing ball, and of course you don't want to hear about anybody getting seriously hurt on the football field. So that's what I'm aiming to put into the kids, doing things the right way, getting back to the basics.
But what is your opinion on like how the game is put out there today? Because you can say, you want to get these children back to the basics, and I believe you. But the fact is, you're going to have people out here who are going to oppose that, right? They're going to say the basics were old school football, knock your head clean off your body. That is not necessarily the basics of football. But in order to play the game, you have to have some type of, I'm going to impose my will on you. I'm going to block you. I'm going to move you into this other space. And you can't do that by not hitting them or not banging your body or banging your hands or arms or something against that person. How are you going to not just combat that, but you've already said you're going to help kids stay safer. But what's your opinion on it? Like, what do you think football is now, and what do you think it's going?
From the fans aspect, you're used to seeing the big hits, the big tackles, the big catches, all of that stuff. So, as a fan, what's going on now? I mean, of course, it lets you down a little bit because you can't. You're not seeing that type of thing anymore. They're throwing flags on blindside blocks now, and you're like, oh man, back when we played, back when we watched ball back in the day, that was just legal as a catch. But my opinion, it's from the fan side, it is getting a bit soft. Where I believe it's going, I think as long as Goodell is the commissioner of the NFL, I think he's gonna be consistent with what he's trying to do, and I think it's all in player safety. With all of the lawsuits and whatever else has been, and injuries and lawsuits and everything that's been going on, I just think it's all in the players. It's all in their safety. It's all for their safety.
Right. And what about the fact of this though? Like, so player safety is important, right? I mean, we agree on that. But what's also important is being able to still do your job, right, 100%. And sure, you can. I've never heard of true safety in football, because regardless, you still are hitting somebody. Your brain is still getting shaken up, I'm guessing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I played for years. I played since I was 4 years old. Right. And I hit, and some more. The safety aspect of it, I don't know, is a realistic thing. To me, it sounds like something that's extremely, I don't know. I think it's just they're trying to place it in a box versus allowing these players to play the game, but having them be held to a standard of, you cannot intentionally, right? Because obviously, if I'm coming to hit you blindside, I have intent to hurt you or to harm you in some way. Like, that's my intent. It's not just to block you, because I literally could just stand in your way. I don't have to knock you off your feet. Right. But when I knock you off your feet, I get the oohs and the ahs from the crowd. My teammates pat me on my head. That's like glory to a man. How are you going to help that player or those people who have that mentality? Because you're going to encounter that player or those people who have that mentality that they want to hit. How are you going to help them understand, like, this is where we're headed? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is where things are going. Opinion be damned, excuse my language, but opinion be to the side. How are you going to do that as somebody who is now taking on children and trying to get them back to the basics?
Just instilling what I'm trying to do with them. Just letting them know, how can I put that? So just letting them know why I'm trying to correct them from making a play or making a play that's going to get them in trouble on the field. Just letting them know where the state of football is right now, as opposed to where it was. Because in high school, it's the same rules. Last season, I can't remember what happened. I thought it was a good block. But the referee didn't think so. And so that was in a sportsmanlike conduct, 15 yards. But with my program, you're right. I mean, I am going to encounter those kids that just want to be out there, Tasmanian double, hitting everything. Doggone honey badger out there, just hitting it and everything. But I'm gonna just have to, I'm gonna have to humble them down and just let them know, hey, you know, this is what has to happen in order for you to be successful on the football field. Because if you go out there and you're blindside blocking and you are hitting defenseless players, they're going to call that penalty, and you could cost your team the game. It's possibly costing the game. So just being consistent with what I'm trying to do with them, and just getting them to realize that it's not because I don't like those kind of plays, but it's the safer play to make, and it's going to help not only you, but it's going to help the team in the long run.
So tell us what, you know, some of the things that you're going to be teaching these children. Like, how's the program set up? What do you do from the time when you first get a child into your care?
So the first meeting, right now I'm having the first meetings or the first consultations here at my house until I can find a venue. But so we get here and we get to my house and I lay out the paperwork for them. I've created a contract for them. I've got the introduction to the program, and I have a questionnaire that they fill out. So they have all of that in front of them, and the questionnaire will have already been filled out through email, and they'll send that back to me, and I'll have it there for them, and I'll go over it with them and the child to make sure, with the parent and the child, to make sure that it's accurate. And I'll introduce, I have what I'm trying to do with the program. I have all of that written out, and I'll present it to them again, just to make sure that this is really what they're looking for. And then the contract, I use an app to create a contract, and I'm able to send that contract over to the client, and they look and read over it, and they sign it, and then it comes back to me. So after that consultation is done, takes probably 30 minutes. All right, and then sign, we're good. Then whenever we're ready to meet again, depending on which package they get, we come and meet, and I start every first meeting. I have a chart. I've got a basic formation on offense, a basic formation on defense, and we cover that. We cover all of the positions. They also get a handbook. You also get a handbook to let you know of the different positions. You've got penalties in there. You've got terms. All of that comes in. So if at any point where you feel like you might be lost during a classroom session, we can highlight what I talked about in the manual. You can go home, talk to it with your parent, talk about it with your parent. Parent can help you out if you have any questions. I'm always available by phone, email. I'll meet you somewhere and I can explain something to you. But that's the first session. And the first field session, what I do is I assess the athlete, agility wise, speed wise. If they need help with running techniques, I help them with that. I mean, we get out there and I see what they can do. This past session, I had the boys doing agility ladders. I had them doing cone drills, and I had them do one position specific drill, excuse me. And then from there, I know what to work on the next week. And then we build and we build and we build on top of that until whatever.
Okay. And when you're doing that with those kids and you're taking them around, and now you're showing them the game in the basics, right? Form of things. Talk to us a little bit more about what your plans is with the child when they get further along in your program. Let's just say they're with you for 2 months, and you're further along in the program. What's the goal for you? Obviously, get them back to the basics, but what's your overall goal for an athlete when you send them out, or send them out of the nest, if you will? What's your overall goal?
Overall goal is to have a new understanding of football. Hopefully they'll feel comfortable enough to go ahead and try out for a team. Hopefully they'll make the team. And then just based on the basic things I gave them in my program, they'll learn stuff with their coach And that stuff will, of course, build on top of the basic things, and hopefully they can put the two together and make something magical happen.
So, what's your target market? Is it athletes who are already on a team, or athletes who are looking to learn how to play football?
My target audience is the athletes that are looking or that are wanting to play. I don't discriminate. And everybody's welcome, but my focus is for those kids that have always had an interest in playing, but they may be scared or they might not know how to do this. So they come to me, and they can come to me with those concerns and those things, and we'll work on that. And hopefully when they leave me, they'll be confident enough to go out and be able to perform the things that are being asked.
Cool. So, what's your advice to parents out there that have kids that maybe are interested in playing football, but they do have that fear? Obviously to call you, but what's your advice to them to help that child get over that fear? Because even though they might be working with you, when they go back home, they still might be afraid. So, what's your advice to help them get over that fear?
A friendly push. Not saying just throw them out to the wolves and leave them there, man. But if you got to hold their hand, they're looking. They want to do it. They just don't. They just might not have that person to go out there and push them. So it's okay to encourage and to push and to seek. Just seek. Oh man, I can't even think. Just go out there and just help them along. Tell them, encourage them. Tell them they don't have to be scared. If they really want to play and they're interested in playing, get whatever tools necessary. Talk to whoever they need to talk to, but make sure they are out there trying to do something, because you never know what might happen if you never step out there and try to do what you're trying to do.
Now, what about the athlete who is seasoned and they come to you and they have, I know the basics already. I already got this down packed type of attitude. How do you deal with that type of athlete?
Well, you put them through the basic stuff just to see if they know it, or if they know the basic things that they say they know. So, I'd line them up. So say I've got a receiver that he knows how to, so the basics to a receiver would be what foot goes up on a line of scrimmage if you're on the left side of the field. It'd be the inside foot, right? So if they get up there and they put their left foot up on the left side of the line of scrimmage, okay, cool. So I know. So okay, all right. So then also, the basics for a receiver might be knowing how to run an effective curl route, and if he's rounding his curl off instead of chopping it down and cutting back to the quarterback, then we got some work to do.
So basically, you're not gonna discriminate on that basics. You want to make sure every player that comes to you is fundamentally sound. You want to ensure that player is in a position that when they leave you, the fundamentals of the game is important to them. So like a Greg Popovich type of guy, right? That's what he's all about. Fundamental basketball, fundamental this and that. And Bill Belichick's the same way, fundamental football. And that's respectful, because like you said, and what's very admirable is the fact that the basics of football I'm not going to say it's all the way lost, but it's one of those things that's not necessarily taught. It's how to be cute now, instead of, how to really play this game. If you really want to succeed, you focus on the small intricacies first, and then you can be cute later on if you want to, one-handed catches and all that beautiful stuff. But first you got to learn how to catch it with two. Let's put two out there and let's see if you can actually grab onto that football the way it should be caught, right? Now, tell us real quick, give us a rundown of the positions you work with, or what are your focus positions that you would like to work with?
Focus positions. I'm an offensive guy, so my focus positions are going to be quarterback, wide receiver. I throw running back in there as well. Those are the three key positions that I'm focused on offense. Or that I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but I know what I'm talking about when it comes to those three.
And what about the fact that you actually were a punter, man? You were a punter in college, man. You're not gonna show no love to the special team guys, man.
You know, nowadays, man, everybody.
Oh Lord.
You don't hear about kids wanting to punt a football. They want to catch the ball and throw the ball. I mean, I'll encourage it and I'll speak it, but it's just you don't find too many kids that come to you and be like, "Hey, I want to be a punter. Hey, I want to be a field goal kicker." I mean, you just don't. You don't.
Right. Yeah. What about that athlete that's out there that may have the talent to? How do you spot that out, or how do you pick that out? How do you attract that athlete?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Honestly, most punters and kickers aren't necessarily, they don't just come from inside of football majority of the time.
Right. I was just about to get to that. I mean,
inquiring mind want to know.
Hopefully, well, so I guess the way that would happen, just putting the business out there, and if that soccer player does inquire about, kickers or punters, then I mean, closed mouths don't get fed.
That's right. So, for me, it's just like, hey, you did that, man, and you did it very well, So, just my personal opinion, you should do it, man. Also publicize that. If you kick or you punt and you want to learn how to punt and have a picture of yourself actually punting the football, show your leg all the way up in the air and all that crazy stuff you used to be able to do.
Used to.
Stuff. Oh, you probably still can. Yeah, my bad. You're right. My bad, dog. You're right. So, look, man, once again, Burns Athletics, I'm going to dive in a little bit. Burns Athletics, is an entity that you guys definitely need to check out. The reason being is because you need to understand that your child may be there and they want to play this game. And it's not necessarily the easiest game in the world to play, but it's a very rewarding game because of the fact it teaches you a lot about life as well, as far as facing fears and things of that nature, right? So you need to make sure that your child is aligned with Burns Athletics because they definitely need to understand the basics of football. If you have a kid right now that's sitting at home on the video game and maybe they want to play, you might notice they play Madden all the time. That might be an indicator. It's one thing to do it virtually, but it's another thing when you step on and you actually have to move your feet and use your brain in order to play this beautiful game that I played and that Herndon has played. So for me, it's one of those things like you got to be able to put yourself out there, get on that football field and succeed. And success is not always making the big plays. It's doing the little things right. Those little things always add to something big. Like there's 4 quarters to a game, and you can have one lapse of a moment that gives away a game. He mentioned that earlier. And I would say that you definitely check out the videos, check out everything that he's doing in order to make sure that, hey, maybe you're a coach and you're teaching something, but you realize like I need to get back to teaching that basics. I need to go back and teach that, and teach those things to these kids or teach those things to these adults. You never know. But either way, so Hearn, I gave a little shout out there. So tell us once again, how do we get in touch with you? What's your handles one more time? And just give us a rundown one more time and just let us know how we in touch with you, and what you want from us. How do we get people to Burns Athletics?
Once again, email Herndon, that's HERNDON .Burns, BURNS @gmail.com. I'm on Facebook, Herndon Burns, and my handle on Instagram is Herndon.Burns. Once again, type me up on Twitter. Can't remember the name right now, but I'm on there. Type my name in, I'll pop up. Can I get my phone number out too? Is that cool?
Oh, it's up to you, man. I wouldn't, but it's up to you.
Email, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All right. I promote this business. I'm putting something on Facebook and Instagram at least 2-3 times a week. Actually, tomorrow I'm not going to work because I am going to print off a whole bunch of flyers and I'm going to take them to elementary schools and middle schools in hopes to get 1 or 2 kids out of each school to let their parents know, hey, mom, dad, I want to see about this. I want to know what's going on. Hopefully I'll get the email, that phone call from that parent, and then we can roll with that. It's a positive program. Nothing ever negative. No, ever negative. Just looking to get that child out of the house from in front of the TV all the time and get them out into something positive. The lovely game of football. Like you said, they may not know how to catch a football. They may not know how to put that foot on the line as a receiver. They may not know how to make that pocket as a running back. They may not know how to throw that football over the linebacker so the tight end can catch it. I'm here for that. I'm here for all of that. Any child wanting to play football, wanting to know the X's and the O's of the game, I'm your man for me right here.
Oh, okay. No, I was having some technical difficulties over here. I'm like, oh my goodness, my mic ain't working. So cool, man. Look, once again, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate you allowing me to interview you, dude. And
man.
Put Burns Athletics on the map. Of course, as you know, as your best friend, I am going to do whatever I can to help you get it out there. I'm proud to hear that you're doing that tomorrow too. That's a step, man. You got to do those things in order to make sure that business grows, man. You got to treat it like a grassroots business, man. Nobody knows you. Even when everybody know you, still ain't known, bro. You still ain't known. Stay humble, and stay grinding, stay working, and build that program, man, because people do need it. We've talked about it time and time again, how it seems as if nobody knows how to play this game anymore, or it's like they get to the NFL, which we watch majority of the time in college, of course. But you get to the NFL, it seems like they kind of lose a little bit of that passion or that drive or that whatever. And you wonder sometimes, like, how'd they make it that far? They had to do something. They had to be good in order to get there. So you think, right? You just hope that. And you want to build a program like you're doing in order to help these kids live out a dream that they may be having. Or who knows, you might have a child or kids or whatever that come in there and, they may start off wanting to play this sport. And once they start working with it, they realize, like, this isn't it. And that's great too, because you're helping them, guide them on their life.
Right.
You help guide them in their life, man. So as your best friend, of course, I'm saying this on the air. It's going to be stuck on, recorded. And I've always told you, I'm very proud of you, man. And I'm happy that you're taking the steps that you're taking in order to get yourself out there. And not just that, man, but just keep driving, bro. Just keep driving and keep leading, regardless of what's going on, regardless of the bombs going on around you. Stay focused on your goals and dreams. Don't let nothing, nobody, not even yourself, deter you from what you got going, man. And just give it 110%. Trust me, bro. Trust me. You give it everything you got. Hey, throw your whole self at it. That's when you're winning, man. All right? Cool. So this is Milton Spence, once again, your owner and founder. Well-rounded consultant. It's the Well-Rounded Coach's Corner. A lot of well-rounded, but this is it. This is the show that's going to boom. This thing is going to grow. My business is going to grow. I'm diving into everything. If you want to, you can get in touch with me on Facebook, Well-Rounded Consultant, LLC. I don't know why I can't take the LLC out. Facebook won't let me. Whatever that means. All right. You can find me on Instagram, and that name is Milt, MILT _WRND. That's my Instagram. And those two places you can find me, and you can pretty much get to my website, wellroundedconsulting.com. And be sure to check out this podcast. I'm having them live every Wednesday from here to the end of the year, unless I just need to take a vacation or something like that. But from here to the end of the year, every Wednesday, this podcast is going to drop like your old school Bible study. All right. So, what's going on, man?
Forgot to say one thing, man.
Yeah.
Websites are coming. Give me a little time. Websites are coming. I want to put some paraphernalia out there. I want to make T-shirts. I want to make a couple hoodies. Yeah, man. I'm trying to make this thing big. I'm trying to make it huge.
So y'all heard that if you have a T-shirt business, hoodie business, if you make websites, holla at your boy, man. Burns
Please.
Athletic. Yeah, holla at Mr. Burns, man. He needs ya. He needs ya. All right. New business owners, y'all know how it was and y'all know how it is, man. We all gotta have resources. Y'all gotta help each other grow. All right, Milton Spence, tilling the source of success. Well-rounded consultant. Hit your boy up, man. If you have any issues, anything going on in your life, you want to help that business, want to help yourself grow, help that family, help that child. Who knows? I might introduce you to Burns Athletics because your kid want to play football, man. What's going on?
Yes,
sir. All right, well, y'all have a blessed one, man. Thanks again for listening, and check in next Wednesday. Peace.